Are you thinking about moving to Florida and you're wondering, where are the most hurricane-prone areas? If I were you, I'd be asking the same thing. The effects of hurricanes can be disastrous depending on where you live, not to mention the home insurance prices. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration predicts that there will be above normal hurricane activity in 2024. So this topic is on many Florida residents' minds. However, not all of Florida is a hurricane hotspot. In this video, I'll highlight the most and least hurricane-prone areas in Florida. It's updated for 2024. As a bonus, I'm going to talk about the types of houses I would not buy if I was thinking about purchasing a home in Florida. I'm Kathy Williams with Team Williams, a mother-daughter realtor duo in the Orlando area, and we are your Orlando Relocation Experts. Let's start with the worst places to live for hurricanes. These are areas that historically bear the brunt of hurricanes. They experience high wind speeds, storm surges, and flooding.
The town's mayor says 40 to 50 homes were destroyed when Idalia made landfall yesterday as a Category 3 hurricane. I'll remind you, Colleen pinpointed this very accurately and early on that this was going to be a hard-hit spot.
Now, one of these places I'm going to mention is a place you might not suspect. But let's start with the obvious ones in South Florida. The southeast coastal regions such as Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties can be hit hard during hurricane season. Their proximity to the ocean makes them vulnerable to storm surges and flooding. It really increases the risk to property damage and, of course, evacuation orders. The southwest coastal region is another area that's one of the worst places to live for hurricanes. It's located directly along the Gulf of Mexico, where waters are notably warmer than those of the Atlantic Ocean. Now, Southwest Florida shares the title of being the second most hurricane-prone region in the state, but the Southwest is only a little more hurricane-prone than the Southeast. They have endured nearly the same number of hurricanes over time. And now here is the most hurricane-prone area within the state. Believe it or not, the Panhandle region of Northwest Florida, which you might really find surprising. But the reason why it's endured the most hurricanes is because it's located in the Gulf of Mexico, and because this area is characterized by its warm, shallow waters, and partially due to its geographical positioning within the United States. Unlike the typical tropical climate of South and Central Florida, the Northwest Panhandle experiences cooler temperatures compared to the rest of the state. This intensifies hurricanes, though, by influencing the atmospheric pressure conditions essential to their formation. So if you're thinking of buying a home in these areas, it's crucial to invest in hurricane-proofing measures like impact-resistant windows, reinforced garage doors, and a sturdy roof to protect your investment. By the way, I'm an agent in the Central Florida area, but I can refer you to an agent anywhere in the state of Florida. So if you're considering purchasing a home here in the area, please feel free to reach out to me. I can connect you with someone in my network that will be a great match for you. Now, let's talk about the safer places to live for hurricanes. That's what we want, right? There are plenty of communities that are relatively safe from major storm damage. However, that doesn't mean you shouldn't take precautions against damage. And there are certain homes I would completely stay away from if I were to purchase anywhere in Florida, which I'll talk about here in just a little bit. Not all regions of Florida face the same level of hurricane risk. Here are the safest places to live for hurricanes. First, Northeast Florida. Northeast Florida has experienced only 26 hurricanes in total, including just one Category 3 storm. This is in the past 167 years. On average, this area gets hit by a hurricane approximately every 6.5 years, which seems way less severe compared to Northwest Florida, where the hurricanes occur roughly every 3 years. Northeast Florida benefits from cooler waters and a milder climate than Southeast Florida, which means hurricanes passing through the Caribbean are more likely to veer towards the Carolinas. Sorry, Carolinas. Now, for those seeking the safest haven from hurricanes while enjoying the perks of Florida residency, the inland regions near the northern border of Florida with Georgia are your best bet. This area stands out as the least susceptible to hurricanes within the state because it's situated away from Florida's Atlantic and Gulf coasts. These places have gentler winds during the hurricanes. Lastly, the inland Central Florida cities like Orlando, Winter Park, and the greater Orlando area offer a more sheltered environment during the hurricane season. Their distance from the coast reduces the risk of storm surges. Although these places may still experience high winds and heavy rainfalls, it's also worth noting that the inland areas aren't entirely immune from natural hazards. There's the possibility of tornadoes and hail, especially during periods when the rest of Florida is under the threat of hurricanes. Now, I've lived in the Orlando, Florida area for 35 plus years now, and I love it. We have had hurricanes that I've lived through since I've been here, quite a few major hurricanes. But the thing about it is once a hurricane comes in contact with land, it immediately slows down. Even if it's coming from right across us, which would be like Cocoa Beach or New Smyrna Beach or Daytona, that area, even if it's coming towards us from that area, it still has 50 to 60 miles of land to cross before it can get to us. So typically the winds die down quite a bit. We have been hit by a few really bad hurricanes here that knocked power out. We had power outage for almost a week one time at our house, but that was because we lived in an area where there were a lot of huge trees and the trees hit the power lines, and so there you are. A lot of the newer areas of Orlando have underground power lines, so you're not going to have as much risk of power outages. Now, before I talk about the homes I would completely stay away from if I were a home buyer in Central Florida, if you are thinking about moving to the Orlando area and you would like some assistance, my team is more than happy to help. My contact info can be found in the description box below, and I'm happy to chat with you if you have any questions at all about moving to this area. Many new developments in the Orlando area are built to withstand hurricane force winds thanks to advanced building techniques and materials. However, if you're looking at older homes in Central Florida, you might find that many owners have not updated their windows. There are two reasons for this. One, it can be costly, and two, because there isn't as much risk of flying objects during a storm in Central Florida. Many people don't feel like they need to get updated impact windows, and it's not required like it is in Miami. With that said, it's nice to have newer windows due to the potential energy saving benefit, but I wouldn't make it a top priority if you're purchasing a home in Central Florida area unless you're concerned about saving energy. Instead, here are the types of homes I would stay away from if I was a home buyer in Central Florida. Number one, wood frame homes. Wood frame homes are more prone to wood rot or water intrusion. And with all the storms and the rain we get, there's more peace of mind buying a home that's built with block and stucco material. Now, you might see some new builds with block and stucco on the first level and wood frame and stucco on the second level. This is fine. This is within the standard building code for our area. But what I'm referring to are the homes that are entirely made of wood frame. Now, are all wood frame houses full of problems? No. Sometimes homeowners of wood frame homes have taken extraordinary care of their homes, but it's easier for a homeowner in Florida to care for a home that's built with stronger materials. The second type of property I would stay away from is one that is completely covered in a hazardous flood zone. There are lots of lakefront properties that are partially in a flood zone due to the lake filling and the water covering more of the land. These are somewhat risky, but it depends on how much the property is out of its hazardous flood zone. However, the properties that indicate there is a hazardous flood zone area encroaching on the house itself are the ones I would stay away from. If you're looking for a home in Central Florida, you can find plenty of options for a property in flood zone X, which is the least risky. In our MLS, we have an access to the FEMA flood zone map, so I like to verify the flood zone classification of a property my client is interested in. Now, number three, the third house I would not buy as a house with a very old roof, and I'm talking 14, 15 or more years old. The inspection you get on a home will inform you of the roof's condition and the estimated number of years of life that roof has remaining. But it's safer to move forward with a home that has a newer roof, especially if hurricane season is around the corner and maybe you don't have time to worry about replacing the roof. Plus, insurance companies will typically not insure a home that has a roof with less than 5 years left of life. And if you're getting a mortgage, the lender will need to verify proof of insurance. If you are thinking about buying or selling in the greater Orlando area, we would be more than happy to help you out with that. We have a Greater Orlando relocation guide, and you can download the link. It's in the description box below. If you have any questions or would like to know the next steps, our contact info can be found in the description box below as well. Remember, to like and subscribe to our channel. We would love to have you join us on our journey. We hope you found this video helpful and look forward to connecting with you. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.